Giannis Antetokounmpo is his own worst enemy. The Milwaukee Bucks are in the Eastern Conference Finals. As you saw last night, the Milwaukee Bucks eliminated the Brooklyn Nets in a tough, drawn-out 7-game series. Giannis Antetokounmpo versus Kevin Durant, Milwaukee versus Brooklyn, some of the beasts of the East. And as the Bucks advance to the conference finals and potentially the NBA Finals later on, there's something they're going to have to figure out: how to play their best basketball every game. Figure out how Giannis Antetokounmpo is his own worst enemy. Before we get into the current situation in Milwaukee, let's take a look into their history. And it starts with one of the best players of all time, in Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. He went on to win 3 MVP awards with the Bucks, dominating the 1970s, and in 1971, he led the team to a championship with the great Oscar Robertson by his side. After Kareem's departure, Marcus Johnson and Terry Cummings were in the city into the 80s, and Sidney Moncrief throughout the 80s. Moncrief was a multiple-time All-Star and one of the best defenders of the decade, winning 2 Defensive Player of the Year awards as a guard. In the 90s, we saw players like Vin Baker, Glenn Robinson, and Jack Sikma, but in the stacked 1996 draft, Milwaukee drafted sharpshooter Jesus Shuttlesworth, or maybe more appropriately, Ray Allen, out of the University of Kentucky, where he would showcase his talent right away in the league. Michael Redd was a guard for Milwaukee throughout the 2000s, with a knack for putting the ball in the hoop, showing some very impressive scoring averages throughout his years there. Other players we saw over the years were Andrew Bogut and Monte Ellis, but if you fast forward to the present, you'll find a new player leading the herd. So many young talents in the NBA come on looking like stars or soon to be stars right out the gate. Guys who step foot in the court and look amazing right away, sometimes even before the professional level. And sometimes it takes guys a little longer to show that superstar potential. In the 2013 draft, the Milwaukee Bucks drafted a skinny kid from Greece with their 15th overall pick. In Giannis' rookie year, they only won 15 games, but as we know, that skinny kid will work his way up to multiple trophies and gain the respect and attention of basketball fans everywhere. All eyes on him. Now we see Giannis searching for his first NBA championship. Giannis Antetokounmpo is by far one of the most dominant players in the entire league, considered the most dominant by many. This type of size, athleticism, and relentlessness has led many basketball fans to compare the Greek Freak to the Diesel, or Shaquille O'Neal. Giannis in the restricted area may be even more guaranteed than the Chef Curry 3. He could turn it and jam it on all 5 guys on the opposing team with ease. The open floor is where he's most dangerous, only needing a few dribbles and deer-like strides to get to the cup. Throughout Giannis' time in Milwaukee, his right-hand man has been Chris Middleton, an extremely efficient scoring guard for the team. Pick and rolls with him and the Greek Freak are so important to this team. A tough guard, and K-Mid knows how to get the rock to Giannis in the right spots. When Chris is hot and firing, it's scary for defense. To think about even taking away tension from Giannis even for a split second can collapse them. When he's on, Bucks are different. Having to worry about that Middleton-Antetokounmpo connection is hard. Replacing Eric Bledsoe with Jrue Holiday was huge for the Bucks, a big upgrade, but they will need him to pick it up for the conference finals. He's lucky Giannis was able to save him in this Brooklyn series, but going forward, they will need the full Jrue and everything he brings, from his defense to his playmaking to the pressure he can put on the defense with his scoring and his shooting. Brook Lopez being active down low and helping Giannis anchor the defense, Brent Forbes hitting his threes, and PJ Tucker being a persistent fly in the ear of the opposing team's best player are all vital components to this Milwaukee squad. Giannis needs to man the middle and set the tone, and this is where he can really be his own worst enemy. In today's day and age, the 3-point shot is the most important aspect of the game. Do that better than your opponent and you feel much better about your chances. Pulling from behind the arc is so huge for NBA teams that some offenses have been completely built around that shot. The shot has given teams life and killed those same teams at the same time. Even the most dominant bigs in the league have had to expand their range just to adjust to today's game. Even with Giannis' historical control of the painted area, people have still insisted that he develops a 3-point shot. If you didn't hear me before, 3-point shooting is the most important aspect of the game and form of offense, and Giannis has spent the last few seasons trying to get more comfortable with this shot. But any possession that ends in a Giannis 3 is a big win for the defense. You want him taking those shots. You don't want him driving inside if you're the defense. When Giannis is aggressive inside, no one can stop him, but he still insists on getting up these 3-point shots. This is where Giannis Antetokounmpo can be his own worst enemy. taking himself out of the game at times with too many jump shots, specifically 3-point shots early in the shot clock for no good reason. It throws off the rhythm, any rhythm that the Bucks had built up at that point in the game, and honestly in these playoffs he shouldn't be taking any 3-pointers whatsoever. Realistically, no one is stopping Giannis from scoring in the paint. He catches the rock anywhere close to the basket and you can count 2 points. Him operating too much on the perimeter is what has led to the Bucks having early round exits in 2019 and 2020, to the Raptors and the Heat building that wall. Teams have built walls and been able to focus all their attention on Giannis because he's coming from the top of the key and everyone can see him. Getting him close to the basket earlier is vital. In the Game 6 of this Nets series, Bucks down 3-2 was obviously a must-win game. Giannis put up huge numbers and didn't attempt a 3 if I'm correct. He set the tone early for the Bucks, beating Brooklyn up down low. This is how every game should be. Only guy who could stop Giannis is himself, settling for those threes, being his own enemy, helping the other team and hurting his own. And if he does step out for a mid-range shot or anything further from the basket, it should be after attacking the rim and going in the post multiple times, similar to Joel Embiid, playing inside out. And if Giannis isn't controlling the paint and being very opportunistic with his scoring, he's going to need Middleton and Holiday to play their roles so Giannis doesn't have to rely on those guys to do anything else but play their roles. Rely on them to create and start the plays so Giannis can finish them like the big man he is, so he doesn't have to play up that point guard role, because that's really what hurts the Bucks when he tries to play too much on the perimeter. But unfortunately, Middleton has been terrible on the road in these playoffs, and Drew Holiday was non-existent versus Brooklyn. These guys will need to step up if the Bucks want to win the championship, control the perimeter, and take up the ball handling and playmaking roles and excel at them so the best player on the team can focus on his domain. What I saw from the Bucks in Game 6 was it looked great. Giannis making life miserable for the Nets down low and Middleton going off. This covers the inside and the 3-point shooting for the team. And this is where the Bucks are at their most dangerous, when Giannis isn't shooting those ill-advised shots and taking himself out of the game. And the more Giannis attacks the rim, the more attention he'll draw and the more time shooters will be open. This could be the year for the Milwaukee Bucks, but they need to execute every game like they did with Game 6 and Game 7. Keep Giannis down low and keep his threes at 0. Giannis Antetokounmpo is his own worst enemy. Thank you guys for watching. This has been Rashad with Hoops Times 2. Hit the subscribe button if you see more content like this. Hit the like button if you enjoyed this video. Peace out.